Hey YouTube, it's Earl, and tonight it's time for another tobacco review. Tonight we're going to be looking at C&D's, or Cornell and Deal's, Hearthside, part of their wintertime reserve. Let's get to it. Okay, so Hearthside by Cornell and Deal is part of the wintertime reserve. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but straight up front, what is Hearthside? It is an English crossover blend. By an English crossover blend, what you mean is it is Virginias, Latakia, maybe some Orientals, maybe some Perique, but it's got Virginias and Latakia in it. And then it also has an aromatic component to it. That makes it a crossover blend. So it's somewhat between a natural tobacco product and an aromatic product. It's got some Latakia in there. So there you have what your English crossover blend is. This one in particular is in the broken flake style. Okay, so it's not quite ribbon, it's not quite a flake, it's somewhere in between those two. But let's talk a little bit about the blend, where it comes from, all of that. As of last time I checked, you could still get some from smokingpipes.com, but this is Cornell & Deal's 2019 Wintertime Reserve blend. I don't know if it'll become part of their regular rotation or not, but Hearthside, it is, like I said, it's an English crossover blend, but let's talk about that Wintertime Reserve just a little bit. What is it? How does it factor into this? So Law DC, which is the parent company of Smoking Pipes, Cornell and Deal, and Peterson Pipes last year, well, here's what I should say, is it kind of got all three of those entities to work together to do kind of this, I guess, synergistic marketing plan for both pipes and for tobacco, done through the website. So basically, here's the deal, is if you went to smokingpipes.com last year and again this year, and you bought a Peterson pipe, they also gave you a tin of their wintertime reserve. And those wintertime reserve blends, they had, I think, 6 or 7 different blends. They all were different. I believe some of them may have been like pure Virginia Periques, some of them, but they all kind of had this little bit of a Christmassy or winter time theme to them. Similarly, this year, if you buy a Peterson pipe from smokingpipes.com, not a sponsor, not advertising for them at all, but if you buy a Peterson pipe from smokingpipes.com, you can get some of the 2020 wintertime reserve. This particular tin was tinned back in December of 2019, so it's about a year old. But it is, like I said, it's a crossover blend. Let me jump in, do my kind of normal review. Overall, I think this will be something that if you can find it and you're looking for a crossover blend, it's one of the better ones that I've tried. But let me give you my full review real quick. So, tin description: Cornell and Deal's Wintertime Reserve is a festive series of blends handcrafted in small quantities by our expert blenders right here in South Carolina. In this particular blend, Hearthside, however you want to say that, a complex smoky crossover blend of select Virginias and Latakia layered with notes of dark chocolate and vanilla, pressed and sliced into delicate flakes, perfect for sipping by the fire with a wee dram. And I can say it goes delightfully well with Scotch or a good bourbon, U.S. bourbon. So, so that is the tin description. When you crack it open, you really just, you smell the whiffs and you know it's an aromatic. You get the chocolate, you get the vanilla notes. In particular, C&D fashion, because this is once been some form of a flake product, you have about 5 different pieces of paper before you can get it open. So when you open it up, here is what the contents looks like. You see it's fairly light, and you know, when I look at it, I was really kind of astounded at how light it was. I don't know why. I just figured because they were pressing it, because it was going to be an aromatic, because there was a lot of Kia, that it would have been darker. But I saw a good bit more bright leaf in here, but it's just plenty of Virginias, and I'd say it's a fair amount of Perique. When you put your nose in, again, chocolate, vanilla, and a lot of times to me, when you put, there's something about an aromatic chocolate mixing and flavoring, and especially if you're going to add vanilla to chocolate, a lot of times I get like a fruity kind of berry vibe, like raspberry or cranberries, or yeah, almost like a raisinette flavor, which is kind of fitting since everybody says tobacco smells like raisins. If you put chocolate on top of it, what does it smell like? A raisinette. Okay, let me pack my pipe and kind of tell you a little bit about it as a smoke. As I said, it's broken flake. Mine verges pretty much on ribbon. I mean, I can't tell, at least in this top quarter of the 10 that I've smoked through, and I've had, you know, a fair share of these bowls here. I don't see any discernible like stacking of flakes. I can tell that there were portions of flakes in here. I don't know if it just got tossed around in the warehouse, or the mailman flipped my box around a lot before it went in, and so being disrupted, it broke up the flakes and became a ready rubbed or something like that. But mine, that's essentially what mine is. It's a very loose flake product, and so, you know, I try and pack that fairly light, knowing that some of these flake chunks or micro flakes, which I've kind of called them from time to time, will expand, and you want to give yourself some room here. So before we get started, before I light up, I will tell you what pipe I am smoking. So give me just a second here. Okay. Fitting that we're doing this tonight, I am smoking, I believe this is a 2018 St. Nicholas pipe from Savinelli. It's a shape 315, so it's a Prince. It's rusticated, has a lovely green acrylic stem with a little adornment here where the stem attaches to the mortise. So you kind of get this nice, I don't know, it looks like a elf's hat to me. Let's see if that gets there. So hopefully that focused and you can see what I'm talking about. As I mentioned, last year I really had wanted to try this blend, but I never pulled the trigger. And there's several wintertime reserve blends that I think I would like to try this year, but I have not pulled the trigger and bought a Peterson or several Peterson pipes. Okay, first thing, which I think is a good thing, is that you can tell, and the people who are around you will be able to tell, that you're smoking an aromatic. The Virginias really shine through, but they also carry with that the component of the aromatic component. So There's a nice chocolatey note here. And again, it's kind of got a fruity flavor to it. So as you smoke it, the Virginias really carry with it that a good Virginia flavor. So you get that, but it also carries the aromatic qualities of this tobacco, and it carries it well. So you've got pretty good chocolate flavors here. Got some vanilla-y flavors in here. But it's also got a little bit of that berry thing going on. Now, the aromatic components are there, and they assert themselves throughout the bowl. But I find that they never overpower the tobacco. And what I mean is, what I'm trying to say is that it's always present, but it's not the only thing that you taste. And so from that perspective, it's one of these crossover blends to me that really works. Sometimes a crossover blend, the aromatic qualities can overpower the Latakia. Here, because it's chocolate and Virginias, and you're not, I'm sure there's probably some Cavendish in here too. But that Latakia and smokiness comes in and just adds a little depth of character to this blend with that chocolate. So you kind of get a smoky, chocolatey, and then you kind of get some hints of just Virginia goodness. So overall, I like this blend, but I like it in a crossover category. This is a really good blend, but I think you have to keep in mind that it is a crossover. I like what I would consider a more natural English better than I do like crossover blends. But it's been the first time in a long time that I've tried a crossover blend, particularly an English crossover, where I thought, you know what, I need to order some more of this. Okay, so how would I wrap this blend up? It's a good blend. It's a great English crossover blend. It's good enough that I'm going to buy some more of it. But I don't think it's one of these blends that I'm going to want to return to over and over again. It'd be interesting to see how it ages. But for a crossover blend, what's unique about it is the aromatics are there. They're there in every puff, but they don't dominate the smoke in such a way that you don't understand that you're smoking an English blend. And the Latakia just really complements these chocolate and vanilla notes that are on it. So it's a good blend. If you have the opportunity to buy some and you're looking for a crossover blend, you should buy it. Okay, it's been Earl. Y'all have a good night.